What about an American embassy in the city of Jerusalem, the capital of Israel? Well, that should be something easy. People wouldn't have a concern there, would they? Or would they? You know, it's interesting that our State Department issued a statement back in February that we would open an American embassy in the city of Jerusalem in May. Welcome to May. The time we're recording this, they did this. They opened the embassy just last week. That's a pretty significant event when you think about it, especially in the Arab and Jewish world. It becomes an issue. By the way, the timing of this event coincides with Israel's 70th anniversary, a very special time when the people of Israel, the Jews, came back to the homeland. Actually, just a part of the homeland. And it was 70 years ago that this happened. President Trump announced in February, and more importantly, he acted on it just last week here in May. Now, understand, presidents before him have made similar statements. Presidents before him have indicated that there in the Holy Land, that the Jewish land, well, Jerusalem is the capital. But to follow it up with the action of actually bringing and moving the embassy to that location, well, that's it's one thing to talk about it, it's another thing to act on it, and that got people's attention. See, the Palestinians, they were infuriated, and this sparked international condemnation. People were saying, no, why America's doing this? Why? You shouldn't be doing this. The Arab world warned the U.S. not to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Why? Because they claim that land. They say that's their land. And you know what's really amazing? That our so-called allies did not stand with us in this decision. I guess sometimes public opinion sways a politician more than a statesman. And what was interesting is that when we made this decision and when we opened it, yes, there was a lot of press as people began to carry on in a very violent way, but to the Israelis' credit, they maintained the peace in that space. That's a nice way of putting it. They do a good job on such things. And so what happens? Well, here's an interesting thought. The Muslims say that their God is the same as our God. That's an interesting statement. Because see, Genesis 15:18 declares, in the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed, speaking to the Jews, have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Joshua 1:4 declares, from the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast. So in other words, as you look, that little speck you see there, when the Jews first came back to the Holy Land, first began to take their land back and to assimilate that land, that's the tiny slice of it they got. And then with the 6-day war, they expanded out to that much, and the Arab world was in an outrage that they would do this. How dare you go in there? And if all you do is listening to the evening news and don't take the time to read the Bible or look at a map, you might think, why do the Jews have this issue? Why do the Israelites, the nation of Israel, why do they complain? Well, that's a larger map of the Holy Land. And as you look at it, what you begin to see is that there are many lands and countries that are taking the land of the Jews that belong to Israel. So the next time you hear them claiming, well, no, the Israelites are taking our land, stop and consider who took whose land and recognize that one day God will restore their land. So understand that the God that is God has already given this land, the promised land, that's where it gets the name, to the Jews. What about an American embassy in the city of Jerusalem, the capital of Israel? We don't have a problem with that. In fact, apparently, we now have a leader that is willing to bless those who bless Israel. You see, we are blessing Israel. Why? Because it is God's chosen people. It's not a political thing at all. It's an honoring God thing. is doing what he leads us to do. His word says that God will bless those who bless Israel. We're simply respecting Israel's right to their own land, to their own city. Do you have a Bible question? Well, then send us an email at ask@askthepastornow.com. That's ask@askthepastornow.com. And we'd love to have you subscribe to this YouTube channel so you'll know when new videos are released and can share those or like them. We'd love you to do that as well. And most importantly, remember that through Christ you can succeed. God bless you.